Well, hello everybody. It's Nate again. Uh, and another, thankfully, another episode of this. Uh, so it's going to be a little bit awkward to start it again because uh, pretty much what I said and expected from myself happened. Being that I kinda already was on the verge of dropping this thing. So, yeah, already finishing the series and everything, and it's all gone and stuff, all that. Mm, but in the end, I guess I tried to persevere. So, and that's why I hope that this episode will go in any that I'll actually upload it. Hopefully and probably. So either way, it's a bit of a rocky thing for me because again, it's just clearly what I expected from myself, as it was stated with the insecurities and problems I have. And I really had to firstly even force myself to even do this thing again. Especially that I feel like now I am probably going to sound and talk like a completely different person than I was in that so-called episode 0. And that is not going to really help with the consistency either. But I guess, again, this doesn't require a lot from me. The slimes have reached containment. This doesn't require a lot from me. So, like, I can just turn on the game and yap for however much I want, and it's not supposed to be a very important thing on this. I mean, it is an important thing for me, but not an important thing per se to if I would actually want this channel to go anywhere. Which we will see where that leads us. So, honestly, wouldn't be surprised in case that I do persevere and this sort of, let's say, Let's Play series continues. I would definitely. Well, I'm sure there was a part. Probably, definitely, I would complain a lot at the start of those videos about how hard it is and whatnot. It sounds rather ridiculous. It's just Let's Plays, but whatever. I'm just in general having problems with just doing this and how much I would change. Like how much of a different person I might be across a few, let's say, episodes. That isn't going to, again, help with any consistency. But again, I guess I should treat it just as throwing those sort of videos into the void, and if it reaches anyone or anything, then I'm gonna be happy. But other than that, it's specifically a thing that I should care about, not that it's a thing that I should make others care about, or that I want people to care about this. So yeah, I'll try to maybe sound definitely less like I'm just gonna throw in weird comparisons. Just I'll try to more so just behave like myself, I guess. A little bit less shy, maybe awkward, but that's about it. And yeah, again, we'll see where that leads. And maybe I could actually, try to talk about other things, like actually about the game that I'm playing. But I believe that would be actually nice to hear. Though honestly, mm, this game was a hit anyway, so probably a lot of people know a lot about this game and either way. But mm, yeah, just just yapping about anything you know. Um, I could technically throw the honey signs, but I don't think that's what I want. Uh, so, but maybe focusing on the game, I didn't want to make this mm, some sort of gameplay that really stands out from what I'm usually doing. Uh, so pretty much as most of my uh, like attempts or just replays of this game, I'm gonna probably go with Honey Slimes as usual because I believe they're pretty much the best slime to use as a base for, mm, in general, for cultivating a lot of slimes, especially for slime science later. Mm, so, um, mainly because due to the fact that their gimmick is rather harmless, all things considered, when you make proper bases. Um, and also proper corals. And another fact is that they eat fruit and uh, basically, I think at least that's what my calculations from a few years in the past told me that as far as I am aware, uh, you know, oh my god, uh, fruits grow the most, especially later when I can get upgrades or um, for like the garden. I think that's what it was, the place or the building was the garden. The upgrades that I get once we unlock the location of the primal slimes. I think, as far as I'm aware, again, that from all of the crops that are possible, fruits generally yield the most. Mm, so that's why we focus on honey slimes, because out of other slimes that also consume fruit, their gimmicks are a little bit more problematic. Mm, so yeah, that was a little bit of yapping about the game. I can come back to maybe complain about this. Oh, where am I at? Mm-mm-mm. I mean, I've read those news a few times. I don't know. This is not supposed to be a let's play about specifically like how to call it. Like this is supposed to be more of a me thing. It could as well not have been posted at all. Just sort of a therapeutic way to therapeutic. I'm not sure how to pronounce that exactly in English. Uh, just some sort of a thing to talk because I really do love talking. Mm, so we'll see where that leads me. Again, really wish at least somewhere, even if it won't reach many people. I'd like to at least have that feeling that I'm not doing this for myself, that this is going to be a routine of something that I enjoy in the end. So that I can feel like I'm improving a little bit, especially since uh, I'm trying to regularly go to specialists, psychologists and such, so that I can have it easier. And that's pretty much the entirety of where my problems arise. Did I feed you? No. Um, so yeah, uh, it's already again becoming quite doubtful of whatever I do because I'm prone to switching topics on the go. I'm prone to change my mood or behavior easily, and that is again not going to really help with consistency. I also really talk in loops as, as I can already feel it, but so there are obviously doubts about it, especially that it might be a little bit embarrassing to put it on YouTube because it is a public space after all. Uh, but realistically speaking, I don't think there are any, let's say, cons of doing it. Quite the opposite for me, at least. Um, so there is a lot of doubts. Hell, I before even recording this one, I really procrastinated for almost 2 hours just doing everything else and delving into things that I don't really like, just to avoid this. Well, hmm, calling it responsibility is a bit of a big thing. I mean, it is a little bit of a responsibility for me because it is supposed to slightly teach me how to be consistent and uh, do things even if I am not actively hyperfixated upon them. Mm, could I get the? Hmm, I guess not. I don't have enough jetpack fuel to risk it. Mm, so I guess it is my little responsibility myself to just do it because again, it doesn't cost me anything. And unlike starting many passions and then dropping them because they were temporary fixations, even if you still are interested in the topic and want to learn it, but you know that it's either that you will burn yourself out or just that it's a hyperfixation, you will lose interest eventually. Uh, it's like this doesn't take effort. It's just I turn on OBS, I turn on the game, and I just yap to myself about whatever the hell. Mm, of course, I'll try eventually, maybe, because I do realize that my mixing ain't anything. Maybe I could try editing more. Um, it's all up to really persevering and wanting to do a little bit more with it because eventually once this becomes, let's call it some sort of a routine, uh, it will like eventually get to the point where I feel like I will have a drive to genuinely just do things, and you might do those things better too with editing and better mixing, maybe learning how to just talk so that I might be a little bit more interesting, not constantly walk in loops, not constantly repeat myself, change topics on my own. Uh, which, well, again, I would. Uh, all I can gain from this is benefits, I feel, and at least I do so hope. Uh, especially even now, at least, well, on the second monitor, I have a little. I have placed some very basic primitive nodes that should point me into the general direction of what I can talk about, um, of topics that I can bite into a little bit. Mm, and that's, for example, why I started talking about the things about having doubts or being honest about the fact that I have to push myself to do any of this. Uh, and so on and so forth. Mm, which, well, again, all will come down to whether is my will strong enough to change something so that I don't feel like a constantly neutral person, mm, and whatnot, so that I can just simply feel and live better with myself. Because I I don't even remember if I just mentioned it. I I'm feeling embarrassed about the episode zero it's called because I mean it's like I'm going to delete it, mm, or anything, but it does feel a little bit, let's say, embarrassing in a way. Um, because I felt like I was really vague and I was trying to make myself sound a little bit like I'm really shy and way too awkward and whatnot, just like a beaten, broken, cute puppy that needs to be nurtured and whatnot. Mm, and I sure do like acting all cutesy and fun and stuff, but uh, well, wouldn't be surprised if in a few episodes, for example, I would just randomly change again. Oh, great, this is available. Uh, so it's really going to, like, I'm too flexible of a person to even say how I'll behave on the next episode that I will record. So this is all just under a big quotation mark. Uh, so I don't know. Maybe some people or anybody that will come to. Maybe some people will find it endearing. Maybe some won't. I certainly find it a bit annoying in myself, but well, it's hard to manage. Just you know, I don't want to force myself into like a singular persona that people know me by. I'll just try to be as honest as possible, and that honesty comes with the fact that I am a person that changes their behavior. Well, okay, that was clearly something. At least I got a return from the trade. Uh, so yeah, this is just all about having fun and a little bit of a challenge to myself to prove to myself that I can do this. That I can actually do something that finally defines me. Something that like I can finally say that is something that defines me, even if it's a very minor and unimportant thing. I can at least say that it is a thing that actively could define me as a person. But yeah, I'm doing a Slime Rancher Let's Play in 2025. Uh, is, for example, playing Slime Rancher 2, which is also a game I considered playing originally. Originally, I considered to specifically play Slime Rancher 2 because uh, Slime Rancher 2 is, well, obviously fresher, and Slime Rancher 1 I replayed quite a lot of times. Might be about 3 or 4 times that I replayed this game on Steam alone because um, I was a little bit of a pirate, a little bit of a pirate kid, uh, which is, well, this game isn't expensive. Uh, and of course now I have it on Steam, obviously, and everything, but still I did pirate it a little, and there I did also have a few save files, but it was in very like early stages of this game. So I did consider Slime Rancher 2 because Slime Rancher 2 I didn't replay at all. Uh, oh, I should actually collect the lords. Mm. But Slime Rancher 2 isn't a finished game either. Like, it's not a finished game. Mm. Which, well, it's not like it's a deal breaker, it's still a normal game. Perhaps it would have been easier because considering how long this game is in terms of how much content there is and how much things you can actively do, mm, this might be even longer than, for example, uh, like how to say it. Uh, that it's going to be longer than stuff that I want to talk about. Uh, but in any of the cases, I still want to finish the game because it's a game that I hold very close to my heart. Might be one of my favorite indies in general. One of my first indies too. So, what, how did it? All right, I fell a little bit. Okay. Mm, so, uh, yeah, this is the game that I've chosen. Originally, it was also supposed to be Terraria because uh, Terraria has a little bit of a better spot in my heart than Slime Rancher does. Uh, but I played Terraria not so long ago, and it's a game that I usually have a specific phase for rather than actively. Where's the? Oh no, I also had one thing slime to become Honey Largo. Mm. Besides, Terraria requires a little bit more focus from me. It's a game where I have to pay attention a little bit better, especially than playing expert only. I don't like playing normal anymore, and master is too difficult for me. Besides, expert is just simply superior due to the fact that, well, you know, exclusive expert items that are absolutely awesome and game changing. Like they change the way you progress through the game. At least a few of them, like for example, Shield of Cthulhu, obviously. Uh, but yeah, in the end, it's this game. It's specifically Slime Launcher. Um, Especially that it's also a curious case. I usually play games when I have a phase for them, or specifically replay games when I have a phase for replaying those. And I don't exactly have a phase for Slime Rancher now. But I think it's a benefit, at least for this trial, let's call it. Because I already wanted to kind of, again, as I said, drop this thing. And despite that, they persevered, or persevered, big word. It's well, the first, technically second episode, no, not anything major, but I want to persevere with this. And I think choosing a game that I didn't have a phase for, I just thought would fit, is better than if I was to choose a game that I suddenly have a phase on, another fixation. Which, well, because I would choose a game, for example, that I am fixated upon at that specific moment, and because of that, I would really like. Sure, I would play it and be like maybe much more excited than I could be in any of the episodes that we'll make here, but I'll be so excited. I'll do a few episodes. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if I like recorded a few in a row and everything. But I'd get bored of it. I'd get tired. I'd get uninterested, etc., etc. But choosing a game that, damn it, I apologize. Choosing a game that I don't have a specific phase for in the current moment might be better simply for the fact that I don't have a hyperfixation on it right now. So it's more of a dedication that I am not doing it out of a sudden hyperfixation that eventually will burn out, but out of just a choice. Uh, a an actually conscious choice that isn't really filtered by my emotions at the current moment. Uh, so yeah, of course, I'm not excluding that. For example, in some time I would maybe try some other games. I mean, I would like to actually finish playing Slime Rancher again. Uh, but we'll see how far I go with it. I wouldn't exactly also like flagellate myself if, for example, I would, let's say, mm, drop this series, for example, eventually, if I would start something new, but it would have to be in a very specific scenario because, whatever word. Mhm. Because really, knowing myself, uh, like actually dropping the Slime Rancher series after, oh, wait, there's a party in Gordo? Huh, that's, is it a reason when they just event things? God, I don't remember anymore. Hmm, neat. Uh, well, hmm, either way, I could like again swap a series, for example, for something else because for me the primary thing in recording all of this is not specifically wanting to do a let's play of this specific game, but also about just talking and trying to do a single specific thing for a prolonged time without hyperfixations to maybe have, but, have a better discipline over myself, better control over what I'm doing, uh, and just do things, trying to do things regularly. Oh, perfect. Mm, so, um, yeah, that would be the case, but I need to be honest with myself and to try to actually force myself to play this game specifically because I can so easily just mm, decide that after a few episodes I would just, you know, drop Slime Rancher, then move on to Slime Rancher 2, then on to Terraria, then to something else, and so on and so forth, which would be really only mm, showcasing the problem with my lack of attention and dedication to a single thing in the long run. But sure, I am doing, on one hand, yeah, I would still be, for example, doing this and talking, but on another, uh, it would still kind of showcase it that I would, for example, just get bored of games and swap them. Uh, so, oh god, I'm really sorry for all the yawning. Mm, oh my god, that's needs this sticky piece. Okay, that jumps at me. Whatever, pay no mind. Uh, so yeah, for now it is Slime Rancher. Uh, and hopefully it will be Slime Rancher for as long as I can mm, reasonably force myself to. Should I pay? Hmm. I could have posted crop down. Oh, there's not a money return. Alright. What do I do now? cannot just do that. I know I need to pay the grotto. Just truly silly. Oh, and now I'm broke. Christ Almighty in heaven above. So, aside from games, because I don't, again, I don't remember if I mentioned it in the episode 0, let's call it. Because frankly, I'm a little bit too ashamed to even watch it again. I don't know if I mentioned, I don't remember if I mentioned the fact that that originally I wanted to make YouTube, but specifically for video essays. And this channel will probably be a mix of gameplay and essays. Maybe some other experimental things I would consider it finally. Just for now, specifically essays in general is what would drive me. Aside from gameplay, because I did also consider starting YouTube for ASMR as a person that loves ASMR. Was just those are like, oh my goodness, I have to be really tired. It's really annoying. Like, sure, like specifically that I want to make video essays about video games or things in video games specifically. So it makes sense that I would have a channel that's both for that and for, well, just you know, a video game essays and gameplay of any kind. But ASMR is a completely different type of content. Besides, it's I don't know if that's the right term to say, but I feel like ASMR is on that verge of weird. Like, I'm not sure if I just simply want to go into that weird. Maybe not for the time being. I just wanna test the waters, see what sticks, even when, in general, just trying to do YouTube. So maybe on a separate channel. Maybe. I've also considered a little bit of voice acting, but that's also an idea for maybe a distant future, hopefully a distant future, no matter how long the distance will be. I do really want that to be a thing that eventually happens. Just, there's a ton of things that I'd love to do, but either hyperfixations or things that I actively don't pick, just because I know that they will turn into hyperfixation and I will burn myself out and disappoint myself further. So for now, let's stick to gameplay, and in the meantime, I might actually find. Oh my goodness! I need to look at my energy. And in the meantime, we will do. Oh my god! No! Hey, I forgot that those exist. I really forgot many things about this game. I mean, considering how rare gold slimes are by the end. But coming back to the main point, it's just going to be, for now, simple gameplay, where I don't really... I mean, uh, like, trying to... There is some minimal effort, I guess, in actually trying to... Not exactly effort in recording, but effort in trying to talk and be interesting while talking. Do not just... Why did you... I mean, they're getting angry because they're hungry. I'll have to replace them soon with other creatures. Specifically, just well, for now. Army rock slimes. So there is some sort of effort that I will have to put into trying to talk and being interesting. But other than that, this is very simple to do either way. Even if I might in the end come out as too awkward, too uninteresting, too a person that constantly repeats themselves, etc., etc. But in the meantime, I can try actually writing scripts for those essays that I have in mind, that I would really love to consider. Especially that I feel like I do have a wild, not exactly a wild, whatever, a wide variety of games that I would love to talk about, and games that I am passionate about that are very different from one another. Just as an example, oh my god, can you not do that? Which one's so hungry? You? Oh. Butter. Just... well, as an example, the first 3 games that I would love to make an essay about, and I know this is going to be a very... very generic white guy on YouTube that makes video game essays moment, but really the first thing that I considered doing was Yume Nikki. But Yume Nikki is also a game that everybody, like, generally in the indie spheres of video games, knows very well. It needs no introduction. What has been said about Yume Nikki many times has been said, though I feel like I have a little bit of a different stance on many things regarding this series, but, well, we're gonna see if I'm going to make an essay about Yume Nikki by the end. However, I feel like another 2 games that I have considered are as follows: Corn Kids 64 and the entirety of the Like a Dragon / Yakuza franchise. And well, Corn Kids is a very, very niche indie game. I feel like it really captivated me to the point where I tried speedrunning it, and I would really love to get back to it. I probably have. Hey, maybe, you know, if I actually learn perseverance through a mid Slime Rancher Let's Play, I will learn how to actually persevere and try to do attempts regularly. But Corn Kids just, in general, has a certain vibe to it that I love, in general, about games. And has traits that I specifically love in video games. And the Like a Dragon one is probably going to be the one that I will probably write as quick as possible. because that's a series I've been passionate about for a very, very long while. Uh, and I mean, of course, I love Yakuza 0, but I'm proud to say that I didn't start this series with Yakuza 0. Uh, it was Yakuza 6. Mm, and it's probably going to be the first essay that I'll make because it's an essay about a negative trait of that series, and uh, I don't know if this is just a me thing. I don't think it is. I think in general, a lot of people gravitate towards being more critical towards the negative parts, while realizing the positive ones less, unless you put rose tinted glasses and many things. But there are aspects of that series that really hurt me. A very big word, but just annoy me. I feel like it could have been done better, or could have been done different, or preferably could have not been done at all. That really make it like that. But I don't want to really like. I don't want to hate on that series because it's one of my favorite like video game series ever. And hell, I would even say one of the best overall, not just in my opinion. With how consistent the games are at being very high quality in comparison to a lot of other things in general, even the weakest installments of the series being very strong on their own. And any potential complaints that I would have to this series are pretty much made purely out of it's not lucky slam. They are purely made out of love, sort of love, I guess, or a love-hate relationship with this series. Just that's focusing and discussing negativity comes easier, I feel like, and that's why that's probably going to be the quickest thing that I'll do. An essay about but of course, work in progress title, Like a Dragon's Greatest Sin. Sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? Of course, very clickbaity and everything, but because sin instead of failure and everything, and it's like all edgy and cool, etc., etc. But we'll see where that idea leads to, especially that it's something that I would require more research to. I like that I would have to do more research, not just upon this series, but specific industries too, which might be a difficult, maybe difficult, because a new process for me, and maybe the novelty of it for me is going to be so. Is going to be the reason why I might consider it difficult. So, hopefully, I'll start writing that soon. Especially since I've beaten the newest entry, Piraticus and Hawaii, and I 100% did it. I have all of the achievements. I tried to beat the game from a fresh save and not New Game Plus on the highest difficulty, but something like the more the hype for the game started dropping, the more I started becoming a little bit wary of it, even though I still love it. But something takes me up the wrong way about that game for no reason, and I hate that because I would love for it not to be the case. and neither is that game really the biggest offender of what I deem the series' greatest sin. Um, but either way, I feel like that passion for the series in general, as well as the fact that when it comes for the game itself, it's going to be easier to research than, for example, the industry. So it's also going to be a tad easier process for me. So that maybe I will actually persevere enough to make it. But, uh, unfortunately, I can't promise it to anybody, and I certainly cannot promise that to myself. So it's all up to how hard do I persevere. Mm, but for the time being, I believe that I should probably be wrapping this episode now. Mm, not exactly like I feel like I talked about everything that I wanted to. Because I'm looking at the again at the notes that I made, and yeah, I pretty much talked about everything that I wrote down that I had in my mind that I wanted to let out, whether the complaints about mm, my behavior and the way I felt about the first slash zero episode of this, um, or the plans that I have, or things that I would like to do. So yeah, I would say that this is a good moment to wrap this up, and I feel like those notes really help me with having a direction when talking a little bit. That when I'm gonna start stuttering or losing losing my mind, losing track of what I was talking about, I can just simply look over and continue. So that's going to be it for now. And again, if anyone watches this, then any feedback, any or hell, anything that anybody would want to talk to or about or anything is that would be greatly welcome. Mm, and yeah, just uh, hopefully see you in the next one if I'll manage. So I better do manage.